All right. So this one right here is called Rage. It's pretty nice scenes up here. This one is interesting because it's kind of one of the faster trails around here, but it does have climbs mixed in. So let me go ahead and give it a shot. The interesting thing is that if you really commit to the downhill here, you can get enough momentum to really make it up the hill up there. But it does require a bit of commitment on the downhill, and then oh, that puts you farther up the hill, and it's better when you're already in a good gear. Don't have to frantically go down a bunch of gears. All right, second fast section here. Ooh, nice rut. That's new. Oh, interesting. Trail conditions are a bit different than I remember. I haven't done this in a while. Okay. So not particularly technical or challenging. They're just require some commitment. Oh, my lungs. There's a little traverse here before we get to the next section. All right, here we go. There's a cool little skinny rock feature right there. That's kind of fun. And a sandy berm. Woo! And a big jump that I don't usually hit, because this is always super chopped up, as you can see, and steep. A lot of brake bumps. People panic a bit on this trail because you get speed very easily. And we're at the bottom here. Woo! Bump. Nice, okay. Alright. And come out to the street. Go back up and do another trail up there before heading down into the canyon. Alright. See you in a bit. Up on the ridge. So the trail Rage that I just did is right over there on that other ridge. This one is called Backdraft. And it's very different than Rage because it's nowhere near as high speed or wide open. Quite a bit more like, you know, you got to know the trail to kind of keep the momentum. Very fun trail. My buddy Patrick works on it a lot. He loves it. Let's see how we do. A few little gaps there. Whew. There's a nice big jump after this, but it's hard to have enough momentum, so I usually just do the skinny over here. All right. I've never done that jump. One of these days I'll get the nerve up to try it. There's a cutover over there that goes to what is Backdraft 1.0. Has a lot less of these big hairpin type things. Ooh, that was not great. You can see a lot of people go off trail right there. Really big turn here. So this is kind of what I meant by you kind of have to need to know this trail to be really smooth on it. Ooh, but it's good. Ooh, up we go a little bit here. It does have some pedally sections. Okay. Little. Whew. Another big hairpin here. Ah, that's super flat. And then a pedally section to the next little flow here. All right, here we go. Whew. Not a lot of room to lean into the turns because the wall's right there. Ah! Overshot that. Oh, and a G out. Okay. Climby, climby, climby. Whew. There's a few G outs on this, which are fun. Into the trees. Back up we go. Okay. And remember to breathe. G out and hill, and now climb. Okay. Grab a couple gears. Ooh, don't drop a chain. All right, here we go. When you're really doing this trail, you can maintain momentum through that section and not have to pedal as hard. I don't have that right now. All right, here we go. Big G out. Into the trees. Quick left with a bump. Yeah. And then up we go again. See, a lot of spots where if you can just maintain the momentum, it's way better. All right, here we go. Back down to the creek. And then kind of towards the end here, under this little tunnel, and then just to pedal out. Yeah. Very fun trail, narrow, very natural. Requires flow to keep the momentum. And this is the same road that we come out when we do Rage. Rage is way over to the right. Okay, it's gonna take us to the top of Spitfire. Right past the underpass here. Past the underpass. The road is right there. There's a drop in for Rage right there that I actually really enjoy. See how I'm doing on energy. I might do it later. But basically we go over this bridge. We'll be at the top of Rage. And there's a little playground with jumps. See, there's the drop in over there to my right. A bunch of the kids on like Surons and stuff, they love to come out. They got a bunch of very, very steep jumps right there. All right, so this is the top of Spitfire. Some nice berms, which if you drop in from the street, you have some serious speed coming into there, but they're good for practicing your flow and really like, you know, pushing into the turns. Really get some speed going. Whew. I mean, not like this. This is sad. But here we go. All right, dropping in to Spitfire. This is very typical of the area. Dry, hard packed, sort of rocky, and yet loose. Sand over the top. Here's a choice. It used to be easy and hard, but hard really isn't hard anymore. Hard used to have like some roll, some like steps, but woo, it's been smoothed out now. And so hard really isn't hard. So I take the easy route. That's because it's a little bit more distance. And you get this nice little run out. This is the end of the hard line right here. And whew, into the trees we go. Oh, I didn't even switch gears. That was not a good skip. All right. Lots of tree cover here. It's a great trail in the summer months. At least that top section. Little gap. Woo! Nothing major. A couple feet, maybe. I don't like that sound. What is going on with my drivetrain there? Big berm. No brakes anywhere. And then up we go. My chain keeps skipping. I don't know what is going on there. I'll take a look when I get to the bottom. So there's a few exits in here. That's one. Big gaps here that I don't do yet. But at least I get a little air. And that keeps going. So like this like kind of XC little route. I like to just come out to the fire road. Now I'm down in the canyon. So I can start my climb back up. Do some other trails. It's apparently called Unknow It or something. I've never really known the name of this section of trail. It's along the top, like the canyon area. Down there is where I rode down to get to Spitfire. Over there is the overpass that drops into Spitfire, where you saw those riders. And then Rage and Backdraft are on that side. So this top section over here kind of takes you over. There's this big jump here that I used to do. I'm out of practice, and it's more than a bike length. It's pretty big. But while I could have turned off right there or right here to get into flash flood, I like to go forward. This top section over here is pretty fun. There's some, it's pedally, as you can see, because it's pretty flat, but it does have good flow. So you come in, there's like a right-hander, whoop, up the little slope, and there's like 4 small gaps that I very much enjoy. You don't need a ton of speed, right? So like a little transition over there, that one there. Woo. This one is very tricky because it's almost like a hip that I just cased, and then it leads to that. But whew, man, they're super fun. Is it 5? I guess it's 5. And then it's like big turn. And now we're technically on flash flood. I'm gonna give those guys a little bit of space. My buddy Jason taught me anything, said it's good to give folks space. So slow down here a bit. Now, right here, it's kind of fun. There's this trail that I very much enjoy, but it's too short. And I'm gonna pause here. It's like, that's what it looks like. Super steep, super rocky. It goes like this, cuts to the left, and then goes down to where those guys are on the fire road, which is where you land for pretty much all the trails up here. I really enjoy it. It's steep, it's fast, it's chunky. It's very short. And you gotta climb back out again. So we're gonna do flood, flash flood, and go from there. Whew. You can see there used to be a big gap right here that was set up after this step down. And then that's the actual beginning of flash flood. See, there's our signpost. And again, I'm gonna Give these guys some time. I'm giving those guys a little bit of time here. So I'm gonna pedal in, see how we're doing. They're kind of like Spitfire at the top here. Kind of narrow, rocky, hard pack with sand on top. Or not really sand, just loose. Under some trees, a big hairpin as I like slide the back end around. Whew. Alright, so this section up here, I'm kind of just traversing along the hillside, clearly. Flats. And then right here we're about to get into the actual like proper trail. Alright. Woo! Just a punchy little thing. Remember I stopped at the top earlier? This is the continuation of that trail. Super steep, super chunky. I really enjoy it. Alright. Start to get into some flow. There's a cut through right there. There's this other set of trails. It goes kind of like even more along the hillside. Whew. Even more pedally. There's a chute right here. So the turn that's always loose and scary. Whee! And there we go. Bottom, coming up to the oak. Alright. And then here we're in the oak. It's a cool tree. Ah. Oh, thanks, man. The last little section has come out. There's people coming down waterworks right there. I'm gonna do that one too. Howdy, howdy. Ooh, traffic jam. Who would have thought?